All righty, what's up, everyone? This is Billy Lewis. We are live on Facebook and YouTube and a couple other places with ScareNetwork, and we are talking about the Cabin on 360 series. I'm joined by Chris Hammond. Chris,
What's up? What's up? My name's Chris Hammond, and my friends call me Hammy or Haunted Hammy. I'll answer to anything, really.
Just explain who you are and how long you've been investigating this stuff.
I'm a paranormal investigator. Probably been investigating like 18 years, maybe give or take a couple.
Yeah.
Been all over pretty much the East Coast investigating places.
And where are you based out of, Chris?
Central PA. Probably close to Penn State.
Okay. Yeah. How long? You said you've been investigating for 18 years. Is that right?
Yeah, give or take a couple of years. I lose track when you get older.
Yeah, I know, and we are old. What got you into investigating and the paranormal?
So I never. It's not that I never believed in ghosts, but I never thought about ghosts. It just wasn't a thing to me. And then one night, I was actually arguing with an ex-girlfriend, and I was ready to leave, and I don't like to fight. And she was like, "No, stay. Let's talk. Let's go for a ride." So we went for a ride, and there's a locally famous mountain called Wapsasonic Mountain or Wapsie. And there's a white lady story about this mountain. So I turn up this mountain, and she starts freaking out about this white lady, and like I'm already irritated with her. So I was just like, "There's no such thing as ghosts." And it went on the whole way up the mountain.
And
then there's a lookout road, so you can go look out over the city. And we passed that lookout road. I said, "Look, there's no ghosts. We're past the place where you're supposed to see her." And I kept driving, and she kept crying about this white lady. So about 2 miles past, I looked out my driver's side window and then back at the road, and there was this glowing bright white figure, a human-shaped figure. And the only way I can describe it is as if like a lampshade was shaped like a human. And it was glowing bright white, and I drove past it, and I started freaking out, and she started freaking out. So we got past it, and I said, "Did you just see what I saw, or are you freaking out because I am?" And she described exactly what I saw.
Yeah.
So after that, I started watching the movie, or not the movies, but the TV shows like Ghost Hunter and Paranormal State was on back then.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, I think I can do that." So I went and bought some cheap recorders and cheap cameras and started going to graveyards. And then it just took off from there.
Where did you say you were when you saw the white lady? Because you hear the story of a white lady, I guess, all over the country, you know?
Yeah, it was Wapsasonic Mountain is the correct term, but everyone calls it Wapsie Mountain. So if anyone wants to Google it, you can probably just Google White Lady Wapsie Mountain.
Yeah.
There's actually 4 white lady stories, all within a half hour of where I live. So,
have you seen the white lady since then?
No, I've been up and down that mountain and every other spot where she supposedly is seen. So there's Wapsie Mountain, the Buckhorn Mountain, and the Janesville Pike, which is in my area, and they're all up on the mountain. And then I don't know if you've ever heard of the Horseshoe Curve. It's a famous railroad.
No.
Uh, it's a famous railroad track that curves around one of the mountains where I live, and it's called the Horseshoe Curve. And right before you get to it, there's a tunnel, and there's a lady in white that supposedly stands there as well. So I've been up and down the mountains, and I've been at the curve, and I want to figure out if it's all the same white lady or if it's four different white ladies. But
So yeah, I mean, so you know, almost 18 years, almost 20 years. Why, like, what's your end game? What are you trying to prove? Does it just excite you? Do you feel like it's part of your plan? I know you don't do it obviously full time, make a living off of it, which I'm sure if you could find a way to do that, you would. Anybody who does this would. But
oh yeah,
what excites you, and why do you keep doing it?
um, at first I just wanted to figure out what exactly I saw that night,
Yeah,
and if if there is such a thing as a ghost or a spirit. But then the more I did it, the more evidence I got that there was. I got some awesome pictures, some awesome EVPs, and then when you get those, you really get excited. So at first, it was to figure out what exactly it was that I saw. Then it became the excitement thing, and I wanted to get. I used to be a firefighter in the town I live in, and my fire company got shut down. So I like to help people. So then I started doing residential cases. Um, but now there's everyone's a ghost hunter now. So
yeah,
um, I basically just go to the big places. And if someone calls me or messages me, I'll go investigate their places too. But I think it's more for the excitement of what I can capture.
yeah. Didn't you? So I've never been to Waverly Hills, right? Didn't you get a good shadow figure that you called at Waverly Hills? And
Oh yeah.
was that with tell that story? Did you get it with a regular camera or with your phone or what?
So it was me, Sean Austin, and Chris Mendez were at Waverly Hills, and those two were going live. They have a bunch of followers on TikTok,
Hmm.
and I was I don't have as many as them, but they were like, "Go live, you'll get more followers." So I went live, and it was funny because we kept seeing shadows with our eyes, um, not through the camera, but with our eyes.
Yep.
We kept seeing them all night, but when we would look at the cameras or our phones, I wasn't seeing anything. And then, oh, Chris's friend Fritz was there too. Um, but when we came home, I was rewatching my live, and I saw something move, and it was like back under the one of the red exit signs, and so I saw the shadow figure, and I sent right away. I sent it to Chris and Sean, and they both did a little editing to make it bigger and center it.
Yeah.
And so the shadow kind of looks like it's peeking out of behind a doorway, and then it pulls its head back in. It's probably the best evidence I've gotten in 18 years. The only video evidence I've gotten
Yeah.
in 18 years.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I've seen that clip and it's pretty scary.
Yeah, I'd
I
love to go back out there.
yeah, I want to go. I need to go. Where's that? That's in Kentucky?
Yeah, Louisville, Kentucky. That
Okay.
place is huge too.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Um, what's before we, start talking about the cabin, all that stuff, what is you've obviously been doing it for a long time, been to a lot of places. What is your favorite place to go to where, it excites you and keeps making you want to come back?
Okay, so I have two places like 1A and 1B,
Uh-huh.
and depending on a day is depending on which one's A and which one's B. But St. Albans Sanitarium down in Radford, Virginia,
Hmm.
and Wildwood Sanatorium in Salamanca, New York. And I might have got sanitarium and sanatorium backwards, but everybody knows.
When's the last time you went to either one of those places?
I was actually up in Wildwood Sanitarium Friday night, just this past Friday. And it's probably been at least a year and a half since I've been to Radford, Virginia. But I want to get back there as soon as I can. St. Albans is it's a big place too, and I've investigated there probably over 100 times, and I still get lost in there. It's just a big maze. It really is. And the volunteers at St. Albans, once you go there, they kind of treat you like family. And the same with Wildwood too. Brooke and Zach, who own Wildwood. I don't know. Just these places treat you like family once you're there a couple times and they get to know you. It's awesome to me.
Hold on, let me take that off. I've never been to either one of those places. There's, I've only been shooting the paranormal stuff, not even 5 years now. Well, no, I guess I threw a big QR code up, but I guess it was, I started ScareNetwork January 21, but I'd shot some stuff before that, which kind of got me interested in starting the ScareNetwork because some stuff happened with, this location that I shot in Indiana or filmed in Indiana. So, anyways, let's talk about the cabin stuff. How many times have you been to the cabin on 360? Just out of curiosity.
So, I was there twice before we filmed the documentary, so 3 times.
Yeah, been back since we shot there?
Yeah. That was the 3rd time when we shot there.
And you haven't been back since then?
No, I want to go back there too. That night when we filmed down there for this documentary, it was like the perfect storm.
Yeah.
If I remember right, the moon was full.
It was.
And it was super hot that night, but we got so much good evidence down there. And even after I watched the documentary, like some of the stuff I forgot that we caught, but then there was stuff that you caught listening back after.
Yeah.
It just blew me away. It blew me completely away.
I know, man. I've said it to you. I said it to Dennis a couple weeks ago, to Ryan, and said it to several others that, when we left there that night, I try to get good interviews, good on camera interviews of others' experiences who are familiar with a certain location. That way, at least if you get because you're not guaranteed to get paranormal evidence every time you go out, but at the very least, you'll have some good on-camera stories to kind of tell a story if you're let down from a paranormal perspective. And I knew that we gotten some good interviews, obviously with the tragic true crime situation that happened there in 1979. That story, Dennis tells that story in a very captivating way. And I wish we could have done recreations and stuff. If I'd had a little bit more time and money, I would have done some recreations with that to help that more. But I don't know that it needed it. I felt like the way it's put together, just Dennis's storytelling abilities, I felt like he did such a good job.
He for sure stole the show. Like, I watched that and and I've known Dennis for a while, and I was just like, wow, man, he can tell a story. Like,
yeah,
once he starts talking, you're just in. He sucks you right in with his storytelling.
I know he did a great job, and obviously he's been at the cabin and at that location with the ranch in the woods for, I think over 10 years now. I've been caretaking almost that long. But anyways, where I was going with that story is, this tends to happen just with me on most locations and most shoots we go to, is I never feel like I got enough. I always kind of leave a little bit disappointed and leave like, man, did I just waste my time and energy and resources and money, and I'm not going to be able to do this location justice by telling a good story with it. And I would have gotten it edited a lot faster, but I had these other projects ahead of it that I needed to get done. And I'm kind of glad that I kind of waited, because I had some off time and I was able to spend a little bit more time on it. I feel like if I would have tried to get it out really quickly, I would have rushed it and probably missed some evidence and stuff. So I'm glad that I was able to do it. And going back to when we left there, I was like, man, hopefully we can at least get, one documentary out of it. Never did I dream that we could get 3 parts out of it.
Right.
I never would have thought that, but once I started putting the stuff together, and I mean, it came out to almost 3 hours, 2.5 hours worth of content. I'm like, man, I'm not putting out that long of a documentary. That'll bore people.
Yeah.
But so it was only natural to break it up into 3 parts, man. And obviously you and I are going to be biased because you were in it and I put it together and filmed it and whatnot. But I feel like it flows. All 3 parts flow, and there's never really a lag in it. I feel like it's pretty entertaining if people would just give it a chance and watch it,
Right. I feel like it tells a good story of the history. Like Dennis and Ryan do an amazing job at that, but like with the EVPs and the spirit box and all the devices we have, the way they were talking and the responses we were getting also told the story of what happened that night. Which usually you might get a couple words here or a word here, but you don't, the EVPs and Spirit Box kind of told the story, and usually that doesn't happen.
I know, man. That's I look at that as like a home run, because that's always my my goal as a filmmaker, is to the paranormal evidence to help validate what actually happened at a specific location, whether it was a fire, whether it was a tragic murder, or whether it was a suicide, or what. Most places aren't considered haunted unless something bad happened there. So yeah, I mean, the stuff that we got. Let me play the trailer for anyone who hasn't seen the original trailer, and then I've got a little teaser for episode 3 that I haven't even put out yet, that we'll watch that in a little bit. But let's watch the original trailer, and then we'll come back and talk about it a little bit more. So here's the trailer for anyone who has not seen the trailer for The Cabin on 360 on Scare Network.
Dude, that sounded like a cocking of a gun.
Oh my God, dude, I just got the chills. That sounds like a gunshot.
That big loud bang?
It sounds like the body from the ground.
Yeah, it does.
We know in October of 1979, Randy actually fired 2 .38 caliber rounds into her chest.
When I was younger, my dad had told me a story. He was called over to the house next door, the brick rancher, and he had to help move the girl's body into the body bag. The Cabin on 360 is a haunted location in Mechanicsville, Virginia.
I've investigated hundreds of locations, and I would say this is definitely the #1 location for activity of all the places I've investigated. Who is down here with us?
Randy spent a lot of time in the basement. People have been influenced by what's down there in the basement.
Are you making me tired?
Who needs help upstairs? What's the girl's name?
I kind of gave this place the nickname. It's like the trifecta of paranormal energy, because you have characterization to the haunting here, over at the rancher, and then this whole vast area of forest behind these two properties that are tied to the Civil War. There's just spiritual energy everywhere, but it's like 3 locations molded into one.
From a paranormal experience, it really is an experience that, unlike anything else, you're just going to have so much.
I yelled to the house, "All right, mother effer, we need to talk." And that house growled at me.
I like that ending.
Yeah, that trailer was awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, you know, you've seen all 3 parts. There was a lot to go from, and obviously with a trailer, you're trying to cut 3 docu-series into a 2-minute thing and try to tell the story. That's always a hard thing to do. But
there was a lot too that we got that you could have put in, like, yeah, so much evidence we got down there.
I don't think that you and I even realize, I mean, beyond the gunshot, which is, to me, is absolutely incredible. Well, considering where we were too, you know, I say it on a thing, and, you know, we're 10 feet away from her room, and then an EVP that comes beyond the gunshot that neither one of us ever even heard. And I don't want to give it away. It's in part 1. It's out now. But I had to replay that like 50 times. I'm like, am I really hearing what I'm hearing? It's pretty incredible. I mean, those 2 pieces of evidence, considering the true crime that actually happened there in 1979, and to be able to get those 2 pieces of evidence is pretty compelling paranormal evidence. Whether you believe or don't believe, right? When you first watched the entire episode, and I know you remembered the gunshot, but then hearing that EVP right after the gunshot, what went through your mind?
The gunshot, that night we were there when we heard the gunshot, like, it gave me the goosebumps really bad on my arms. And it was super hot that night. And then I almost got a little emotional, but we didn't hear that second part to that EVP. And when I watched the documentary, it kind of clicked on me, because I got almost a little emotional watching it back. Like, I still cannot believe we got the gunshot, and then what followed the gunshot.
Yeah.
It blew me away.
I know, man. I couldn't believe it. And I almost not skipped over it, because I don't want to give that away, what was said in that EVP. People are just going to have to go and watch it. It really will throw you for a loop.
Yeah.
But.
And I think that EVP, just that sequence of EVPs, that's well worth watching the documentary just to see that.
But then on top of that, I mean, those were all great, obviously. But then we go down to the basement, and I don't think in real time either one of us just realized the responses that were coming back on the spirit box more than anything. I mean, we got great EVPs down in the basement too. I'm talking about when just you and I were down there. But the responses that were coming back on the spirit box, like Gun and Randy and Murder and Melissa and Girl, I mean, it's like, how much more validation do you need that something is down there?
Yeah. That's I like to use the spirit box, but I like to use it with other equipment. And I got to really start recording it because just like you just said, we didn't even realize the answers we were getting or the responses we were getting. But like I've used the spirit box, I don't know, for years and never have gotten anything like that. Like you'll get responses, but sometimes those responses don't make sense, or sometimes
they're not valid to what you're
Yeah.
asking or where you're at.
yeah, it could be the radio interference, but everything that night just clicked. Everything clicked.
I know. I mean, there's some responses in our investigation, and then even in Sean and Chris's investigation at varying locations where, I mean, I was a little bit iffy as to if it was saying what was being communicated, and a lot of that stuff I'll cut out, and I did cut a lot of stuff out. But then, even if I'm a little bit iffy on hearing stuff, I like to put it in there, and let the viewer decide whether they heard a certain response from the spirit box or the EV or an EVP recorder, whatever it may be. So, but man, I'm telling you, I said this to Dennis and I said it to Ryan that I felt like we got so much in such a short period of time. It's kind of overwhelming. Like you can't even really. There's so much. And especially in the 3 episodes, the way they're broken down, that you can't even wrap your brain around it or make sense of it, because there was just so much that happened, right? And I know we're not trying to beat a dead horse, but it's pretty amazing. I've shot at a lot of locations and filmed a lot of professional documentaries and stuff, and this by far, in my opinion, is probably the most evidence that we've ever, or that I've ever been a part of. In that short amount of time,
Yeah, that's the most evidence or the most responses that I've ever gotten in that short of, like, I've been to places where I've stayed the whole weekend or even longer, and we got more responses that night than I've gotten at other places. And just like, I don't even know the right words for it, but the way almost every answer had something to do with what happened there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, imagine if we would have stayed, like, because that was on a Friday night, I believe. We got there around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was gone the next morning by 10 o'clock in the morning. Imagine if we would have stayed another night.
We would have had to make it like
I'd probably had a 6-part series.
Yeah, 6-part, or even like a full season series.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was, I'm very grateful for Dennis and Ryan for allowing us to go and do that, and for me to, to pull my big cameras out and get interviews with them. And because before that, they didn't know me at all, and they didn't know what my capabilities were as far as a filmmaker and stuff. And so, I'm grateful for those guys for giving us the opportunity to do that. So,
yeah, those two guys are. I feel like I say awesome or amazing too much, but they really are amazing with the knowledge of the place and the way they treat people when they come in. Like, they make you feel welcome, and that means a lot to me when places are like that.
Yeah, and I said it a lot when I talk to them as well, but my goal is for producing something like this is to raise awareness for that location, because I know how much time and money and effort that they put into that place, and I just want more people to know about it and to go and investigate it and rent it out and help these guys out from a financial standpoint and from a attention standpoint. I mean, I think in the Virginia area it's pretty well known, I would think, but as far as haunted locations throughout the country, I think it still has a long way to go, and I hope that we can maybe raise a little bit of awareness as far as that's concerned.
Yeah. I remember the first time I got asked to go there, I had never heard of that place. And then I went there and was, I felt like not that I belonged there, but like I'm welcome there, not just by Ryan or Dennis, but the atmosphere in the buildings itself. And then now I'm hearing more and more about the Cabin on 360, but it would be an awesome thing to see that place booked up every weekend.
I mean, even during the week, I'd love to.
Oh yeah.
To see the place. Have you been?
Yeah, that would be.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that would be great too during the week.
Have you been to the Shanley Hotel up in New York, Napanoch, New York?
Yeah, I've been up there. I want to say 5 or 6 times. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you've been there a lot. I did a whole documentary up there too.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was with Sean, Chris, and
Eric.
Scott. Yeah, and was Scotty up there too?
I did a Zoom call with him, but he wasn't with us.
Okay.
And my wife Molly was in it as well. And I interviewed the owner and her Stephanie, who works there. I guess she still works there. But anyways, the reason I brought that up is because there's some similarities between them and the cabin. I mean, they're still, they need more people booking it up and stuff because it's just a lot of upkeep for these locations and stuff too. So, and all that costs money and stuff. So that's my goal when I go to a location like that, especially with them being so willing to allow us to do the professional filming and to tell the story and stuff. So yeah, man, I hope nothing but the best for the cabin, and I hope they get so many bookings they have to turn people away.
That would be the ultimate goal. It would be terrible for the people that are getting turned away, but it would be great for the cabin.
I know. So, what about in episode 2, that disembodied voice that I never even caught while editing when Chris and Sean were walking into Melissa's room? You remember that? The voice says, "Finish them."
Oh yeah. That's,
how about
they heard that?
They never heard.
They heard that. Oh, that's what you and Ryan were talking about last weekend.
Well, Dennis,
yeah,
I sent Dennis an early version of this, and he's like, "Dude," "did you hear that disembodied voice as Chris and Sean were walking?" So in the first cut, that was never even in there. And I go back and listen to it, and it's like, "Finish them." After it had said "kill them," and after it said "let us into play," and then they're walking in the room where the actual crime happened. That's what I'm saying. There's just so much evidence.
That when I watched the documentary, oh man, now I'm having a brain fart. Oh, I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember.
Well, we're just talking about keep going back to the crazy amount of evidence we got, and then they were in that front room of the rancher, the very first bedroom up front, closest to the road, and then they were walking to Melissa's room, and then to get a disembodied voice, a whisper that says "finish them" when it was clearly none of their voices, to me is pretty insane. You know, how do you explain that?
Yeah, there's no explanation for that. So people will try to debunk it.
Yeah.
Say, oh, he might have said that and didn't realize, or what? He might have said that, or people try to debunk stuff. I've been accused of photoshopping evidence, or some people you're just never gonna make a believer. But to me, there's no way you can say there's not something out there when we're getting voices like that. And it was a theme throughout that night. They got a few times about they were being threatened or kill them or finish them or different things.
I know. What are your thoughts? I mean, we talk about a lot in the series about just your theories on if you feel like something evil is in the basement and if it potentially influenced Randy to do what he did. What are your thoughts on that?
This is what I was going to say earlier when I had the brain fart, but the cabin on the 360 kind of reminded me, watching the documentary, kind of reminded me of the Amityville house.
Yeah.
And the claims that were up there, kind of similar to what Randy encountered. That wasn't a big family that multiple people got murdered, but that was, when I was watching the documentary, that's what I was thinking. Like, holy shit, this could be like an Amityville case.
Dude, I watch a lot of true crime stuff, and I'm trying to get more of it on the platform and produce more of it. But I was watching this thing the other day, this case up around Baltimore, Maryland, so not too far from you, not too far from me. It's back in 2008. This 15-year-old kid, he had his parents and two little brothers. His brother were like 9 and like 7. It's really sad. And for some reason, on a Friday night, he was supposed to go stay with friends, and he went over to friends, but then he left and went back to his house at like 1 o'clock in the morning and picked up a gun and shot and killed his whole family as they slept.
Oh.
Really sad. And then he denied it. I mean, this kid was a straight psychopath. But anyways, fast forward to that happened in his house. They never tore the house down. Like 15 years later, a new family or whoever's living there, and this 24-year-old guy goes crazy, and the cops are called, and he gets in a shootout with the cops and shoots a cop from inside the house. They're like shooting each other back and forth. The cop survived, thank goodness. But then somehow he got out of the house and went on a 3-day, he escaped and was, there was a manhunt for him for 3 days, and they ended up finding him and put him in prison for life. And it was both guys, a 15-year-old guy and then the 23, 24-year-old guy. And I'm like thinking to myself, and the house looked nice. I mean, well, the Amityville house looks nice, but
yeah,
I was like, man, there's got to be something. That's immediately when I saw that story, I was like, there has to be something influencing these guys in this house, man, whether it's something from the land or somebody brought something in. So, not trying to make any excuse for that guy, Randy, at all. But,
right.
I mean, who knows if something down in the basement.
Yeah, that's what, when I was watching the documentary, like, that was going through my mind about the Amityville house. But I think what threw it over the top for me was the way it was affecting Chris.
Yeah.
Because I have investigated with him shit ton of times, and I've seen him get tired and fall asleep at places. But he kind of looked, especially that one part where you zoomed in on his face.
Yeah.
He looked like he was agitated for no reason. And that's just not Chris. He's a nice dude.
I know. I couldn't I mean, I knew he was tired, and we've been on investigations and shoots before where he's actually fallen asleep standing up, which I'm sure you probably saw that too.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was a combination, and you remember that we shot that in June too, so it was really hot. The air conditioning wasn't working in that house.
Yeah.
So it was extremely hot in there, humid, muggy, and
Well, that's when
I was gonna say there's just like, you know, a negative presence and stuff there too. So
that's when negative entities or demonic entities, whatever you want to call them, that's when the evil try to get to you too. When you're tired or you're weaker, you're not yourself.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know why I just brought that up.
I mean, it was odd because, you know, Chris is a cop as well, and he's always has a gun, whether it be in the truck or whatever. So the fact that that was happening is pretty scary, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah, I never even thought about him carrying. Never crossed my mind until you just said that.
So basically, what I'm saying is,
That could have been a bad.
you're lucky to be alive right now, Hammy.
Yeah, that could have been a bad night.
We could have.
I think he loves us too much to do that.
We would have turned into a true crime documentary ourselves. People be doing a story on us, and we'd be haunting that place. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dennis and Ryan would have fun talking about us.
Gosh, knows it. But
these idiots.
what?
These idiots come down here for a paranormal investigation.
Yeah, and end up getting killed on our property.
Yeah.
Your ghost would be running around in your hammy underwear. Dennis again, just this ghost in his tidy whities. Oh my God, that's not a ghost that I want to see. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think anybody would want to see that for real.
All right, man. Well, look, I've cut a nobody's seen this, and not that it's great or anything. I did it really quickly this afternoon, but I cut a teaser for episode 3. So let's, and I'll probably post it. I'll probably post it tomorrow. But this is a little teaser. Episode 3, anybody out there watching, comes out this Thursday at 7 o'clock. I know the NFL comes on that night too, but this comes on Thursday before the NFL at 7 o'clock. So check out episode 3 as well. Here's a little teaser for episode 3. We'll play this and then we'll come back and talk about it a little bit.
I was basically just saying, look, I'm not coming back down in this basement if it's pitch dark, knowing that there is a spider that big around here.
I'd like to see it preserved. I mean, obviously there's a lot of, American history that took place on this land.
You know where we are?
There's a spirit just showed up on top of the gateway.
Oh!
Yeah, I heard it.
Well, here we are. It's 3 a.m. We've been investigating for quite a few hours. I think we got some compelling evidence. I think it's best, we go home, get back, get some rest.
I think if I were to summarize why the paranormal is so important to me and why I am so drawn into doing this, I want to know, when this meat suit dies, what do I have to look forward to?
Anyways, what do you think about that, son?
I liked it, Dennis. Dennis in the meat suit.
I know.
that got me.
I know it's kind of a little bit morbid. This meat suit.
That got me though.
When it's meat. At first, when he said, I thought he said this me suit, but then I keep listening to his meat suit. I'm like, what are you, Ed Gein? Leather.
We're gonna have to start calling him meat suit. We'll have to start calling Dennis meat suit.
He's Leatherface from
Oh yeah, there we go.
from whatchamacallit. From the
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
yeah. But anyways, yeah, I mean, episode 3 is pretty much, you know, our final investigations, and you and I end up going down and doing the last bit of investigating down in the basement with Chris and Sean, and then, you know, wrap up and just talking about why the cabin's so important and stuff. And yeah, what do you recall any specifics from episode 3 or?
I'm breaking up here.
Can you hear me now?
I didn't hear your question.
I was just going to say, do you recall any specifics from episode 3 that's going to play on Thursday night?
I don't, because I watched them all together, so they all kind of blended together. So I don't remember what was in each episode, but that was the one with the Sean and the spider story?
Well, it's talked about in the first episode, and then when they go down to the basement, a spider comes out of his shoe, I guess. A little spider came out of his shoe. So then we revisit the spider story again.
Okay.
That's a crazy picture, though.
Yeah. Sean being afraid of spiders. And that happened to him there.
Then it just said, why is Sean so scared of spiders? I can't answer that.
I didn't hear what you just said.
Christina said, why is Sean so scared of spiders?
I'm not sure. He never told us why, but he just told us he is.
Yeah, I don't know why that is either, but I mean, I don't like spiders, but they don't like give me nightmares or anything, and I'll kill a spider if I see it. But,
right.
But the fact that Dennis killed that big old, what kind of spider? Wolf spider.
Wolf spider, yeah.
On the wall there. That's, I think it's massive. I feel like you probably need a sledgehammer to kill something like that.
Yeah, if I would have seen that there, I probably would have freaked out a little bit.
No, that would have freaked me out too. I mean, I would have been like, gosh, that
was a big spider.
Anyways, so yeah, man, what any other thoughts on the series and the cabin in general? You know, when I sent you the episodes, I know you didn't know what to expect. What was your first reaction after watching all of them?
My first reaction was, this was the first time I was ever filmed investigating for like any TV shows or anything like that. And my first thought was, everybody did an awesome job, but I sound like shit. I hate my voice.
Everybody, telling you, man, you wouldn't be human if you like the sound of your voice. I used to hate the sound of my voice, man. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm doing all these interviews and I'm this and that, and I do camera stuff. It's like, you just have to get over it, you know. But
yeah,
dude, I thought you did a great job. Man. I thought you really did do a good job. I thought everybody did a good job, you know.
Thank you. I feel like Dennis and Ryan both stole the show with their stories and the history, but the way you put that together it just, I've watched a lot of paranormal shows, and sometimes you're watching them and you're like, I don't know, it feels forced, but nothing in this felt forced.
Yeah.
It flowed amazing, and the way you put it together with the story and the history, and then the responses we were getting telling the story along with Dennis and Ryan. I feel like it was an amazing documentary, and I know I was in it, so I'm gonna like it better. But
Yeah.
I think even if I wasn't in it, I think it was an amazing docu-series,
Yep.
and I really hope that people check it out and get to go down to see the cabin on 360.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a paranormal investigator, the cabin's beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely a cool location. I don't know. What do you think about the artwork? I don't even know if we've even talked about the artwork. You like the poster and everything?
Oh yeah, I love the poster. The way the cabin, and then the rancher's like a reflection.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was going for.
I think you nailed that.
Yeah, I
You
didn't.
nailed that poster.
It was my idea, but I've got some really good graphic artists that I work with who pulled that off. But if you notice, I don't know if you noticed or not, but the little girl, that's Melissa standing on the porch of the rancher.
Oh shit! I didn't even see that.
So
That's crazy.
Turn it upside down to notice that, but I was trying to.
I got bad eyes too.
Put some glasses on, son. Gosh, knows it.
I need to.
But yeah, man, I want the world to see the things that we produce. But if anyone is out there on the fence, and there's one thing you can watch on the platform, man, this series, if you have any type of interest in the paranormal or just storytelling in general, man, this series is really good, and it really encapsulates. I'm butchering that word. I think the essence of the cabin and the rancher and the woods. I wish we could have spent a little bit more time out in the woods and stuff, but
yeah.
And even the cabin, John and Chris never even investigated the cabin while we were there.
Yeah, we did the cabin a little bit, but we didn't stay in there too long.
Yeah, and we got a little bit, but
I think the heat was messing with everybody too that night.
Yeah, and we did. I mean, it was well past 3:00 before we finished. Actually, I think it was closer to 4:00 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't remember what time it was, but
it was around 4. I know before I went to sleep. But me and Tanner, we actually slept in the cabin, and I planted a GoPro camera, and that thing ran for like 4 hours. Well, I didn't even sleep for 4 hours, but nothing, nothing out of the ordinary. I watched all of it and listened to all the audio, and there was nothing. And a lot of times when I plant GoPros, and someone's sleeping at haunted locations, I normally catch something. But that just goes to show you that, 4 or 5 hours worth of footage on a planted camera, and not one thing did I include in the documentary. I definitely would have put it in there if something would have happened. So,
yeah, I slept in my car that night because I didn't have an air mattress. But
well, speaking of air
I
mattress,
think one of these nights.
What?
I think one of these nights we should all go down. One of these nights we should all go down and sleep in the rancher.
Oh gosh, I would do it.
Film that. I would.
I don't know about that basement with spiders and stuff, but maybe upstairs. But Speaking of air mattresses, let's watch this clip, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
It's supposed to be bowed like that on the sides. It looks pretty cool.
Hammy, what the heck? Is that a waterbed? What is that?
That's
Or is that a fort?
I think that's a fucking queen king size mattress.
I think it's one of those stuntmen, like, you catch the batteries falling.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna fall in it when I try to sleep in it. Good work, Hammy. Appreciate it.
That's pretty
It's solid? Oh, okay. All right. Perfect. Okay, I lied about not using some of that GoPro footage. There was that's what I call. That was your air mattress, right?
No, I think that was the cabin's air mattress.
Oh, okay. I thought that was yours. Anyways,
Did I forget to screw it in, or did it just have a hole in it? Or
yeah, I think you had a slow leak somewhere. But I just thought it was funny that you're like, oh yeah, this thing's really solid. It was solid. 3 hours. I'm like eating the ground.
That's funny. I forgot about that.
Tanner brought his own air mattress. He slept pretty good that night. Well, I guess 4 o'clock is as good as you can. I could have gone and gotten in my car.
Yeah.
I forgot you stayed there. Dude, I thought
I had. Yeah. I cranked up the AC.
That's crazy, man. We're definitely gonna have to go back. Anyways, man, any final thoughts on this series, on the cabin, on paranormal dating? Any words of wisdom?
If you have not been to the cabin on 360, you need to make plans to get there. But before you go there, you might want to watch the documentary. Again, unbelievable how much evidence we got down there that night. It blows my mind. It really does blow my mind how much we got there. Not just how much we got there, but how much it meant something. It just wasn't words. It meant something.
Yeah. I know. You're right. But yeah, if you've seen the bottom, part 3, like we said earlier, part 3 comes out this Thursday night exclusively on ScareNetwork.tv. We got apps out on Roku, Apple, Fire TV, Android, all the things. So go download the app, go to ScareNetwork.tv, subscribe for only $4.99 a month. Cancel anytime and watch this. And we have so much more on there as well, so much content. So yeah, I just encourage anyone to go and take a chance on this little series and any of our other things. What's next for you, Hammy? What you got going on? Any projects, any investigations?
In October, we're doing a premiere at the Clifton Theater with Chris Mendes. He did a little documentary on the Clifton Theater, the Clifton 5 in Huntington, PA. But that's all I have coming up. I'll go investigate at local places, but I don't have anything real big coming up besides the Clifton Theater premiere.
Okay. Well, you better keep promoting the series. If not, I know where you live, and I'm gonna come on.
I'm having trouble here. It's breaking up again.
I said you better keep promoting the series. If not, I know where you live. You hear me? You hear me now,
I'm
son?
losing.
Oh, you're losing. I'm losing my patience with you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Hammy's gone. I was about to end it anyway. So thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody go to Scare Network, watch the Cabin on 360 series and all of our other docs and series and movies that we have. So you back, Hammy? You
I'm
back?
back. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what's going on with my internet tonight.
Okay, man. I was about to jump off anyway. So yeah, man. Thanks for jumping on. And yeah, I was just trying to tell people to go and check out the series and the other stuff we have.
Yeah, for sure. You got to check this series out. I know I was a part of it, but honest to God, for real, it's probably one of the best paranormal documentaries I've ever seen. The way it's put together, the stories it tells, just everything about it's amazing. And for less than a cup of coffee,
I know.
you too can enjoy that docu-series plus much more.
You sound like one of those commercials where they're trying to get you to adopt an animal or
Yeah. Sarah McLaughlin song playing in the background.
yes, that one. All right, brother. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks everybody for watching us. And Chris, stick around when I end this, and we can talk a little bit more on this. All right.
Okay. All right.
All right, y'all. Have a good night, and go watch.
Thank you.
All right. And.